Okay, this is now the 5 Minute Tarot for the 5th of December 2017. And today, a couple of points about reading cards and the importance of remembering and thinking about the question, because the question itself will determine what the answer is going to be or what the meaning is for the card. And I've got two examples in mind. One has to do with somebody had left some. We had some bit of discussion back and forth on YouTube on comments. Somebody called Sub S, and she mentioned at one point that she wasn't sure about. She sort of had doubts about her ability to read cards, and I said at the end of a comment. Pick a card when it comes to your, I forget the word I used, your indecision maybe, or your doubts. Pick a card to know what you can do or what you should do to be able to read cards better. And she got the Nine of Batons. So I left a comment about what this might mean, and she replied, I'm going to read you what her reply and then tell you what I said. Okay, although this is her reply. So my interpretation was like, and then this is her thinking flow. She says, I have the Nine of Batons shows this person in front of 8 batons stuck in the ground, and the person's got a bandage around their head and there's blood on it, so they've been injured. So her interpretation was, I have the burning desire to learn the tarot, and that's the goal. And now I am at level 9 of batons, getting knocked down, the bandage, then standing up, expecting the worst, and then I am not going to learn the tarot. Right? This is her doubt that she she thinks she's not going to be able to learn to read cards or learn the tarot, yet persevering despite the feeling of a check in progress. And I better not stop until I finally reach my goal and conquer the next position, the next level position, the 10 of Wands, that will advance my position finally as a Queen of Wands. So that was the interpretation that she gave. So, but the thing I want to point out is the question was, what should she do to improve her ability? So what she answered, what the interpretation that she gave is correct in that she's describing what's going on, that she's at position 9 and she's thinking of going to 10, and then ultimately she wants to be the queen. But the question was, what can she do to improve her ability? And moving from 9 to 10 isn't really an answer. So my point is, think about the question, because the question really is, how can she improve her ability? And how she improves her ability is be like the guard and the protector in the Nine of Batons. And that's the answer to the question of how to develop her ability. It's not so much we want to know what position is she in. She's been knocked down, she's got up, and she's going to persevere. That's okay. But how does she improve her ability? And I thought the reply that I gave was, okay, we be like the guard. So the 9 batons can represent what she knows. So protect and guard what she knows or what she's confident about. Because we can often want to persuade other people or convince other people that what we're doing is useful or valuable or valid. And so we try to talk them into appreciating that the tarot is good or it's worthwhile or it's useful and it's not just mumbo jumbo. But that's not the way to go if how to improve is represented by the 9 of batons. What you do is you protect what you know. Sub S already knows the tarot works, and she has some confidence with it. She knows she can trust it. She may think there's an awful lot I don't know, but she's going to get there eventually. But it can be with the Nine of Batons. Don't try to protect what you've got rather than get other people involved or talk them into something or try and educate them and show them. That's not the way to go. If she does that, she's going to dilute her strengths or dilute her ability. And she's also going to be maybe concentrating on what's wrong with the tarot rather than what's right with the tarot. We can always come up with good reasons why we shouldn't spend time with the tarot. But there's value in it. And you're better, with the Nine of Batons, you're better developing and strengthening what you've got rather than dealing with objections. So the point is, the question was, how can sub S develop her ability rather than what kind of shape is she in right now? So if you think about the question and make yourself answer the question that has been asked rather than change the question and talk about what you're comfortable talking about or talk about what you already know. Because then if you talk about what you already know, it's going to make sense because what you know makes sense. And you're going to be comfortable and confident, but really you're just talking in circles. You're just confirming what you already believe. But the question was, in this case, the question was, how can she improve her ability? So we look at that Nine of Batons and think, okay, if the question is, how can she improve her ability? How does she do it based on the image in the Nine of Batons? And the other thing was, I got an email from somebody who wanted to know, is there a right answer to this question? And she got the Ten of Swords upright, and she wasn't sure what to do with it and wanted a second opinion. So I think what was going on is sometimes, you've got a problem, you're not sure what to do about it, and you think, okay, I could try this, or maybe I should do that, maybe I should do this, and then you come to the point thinking, is there even a right answer to the question? And so I think what the woman thought was, I need to know, is there a right answer to the question? And she got the Ten of Swords, but then wasn't sure what the right answer was. But I replied, you asked the question, is there a right answer? And the answer is the Ten of Swords upright. So the answer is yes, there is a right answer. But if the question had been, what is the right answer? That's a different question, right? So I think what you need to do is, if the question is there a right answer? You want to know yes or no. But if you want to know what the answer is, you should ask, what is the right thing to do? And then the card that comes up will answer the question, what is the right thing to do? So it's useful, it's valuable, it's useful, it's important to be aware of the question and what the person's actually asking, and then you, the reader, make yourself answer the question, even if with that Nine of Batons, if it's not immediately obvious how sub S should go about improving your ability. But I think the point is, you answer the question that was asked, and then you get, you're always going to get correct answers, but it's not always going to be immediately obvious what the answer is. And this is why you've got to think about it and spend some time considering. But I think mainly make yourself want to answer the question that was asked. Excuse me. Okay, that's it for today. And tomorrow I think I'll be back, and I'll do something about the Chariot and then the Lovers together, going backwards through the major trumps. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.